to serve to Brooke Buckner and Chao Yi Wang. Here we go.
That's exactly what they want to start doing, and using the wind to start creating that bit of a time away from the player that is actually expecting something, you know, slower. Great hands, great hands. One of the things really interesting is to see how after MLP is developing day by day, how the players are getting more used to the conditions. It's kind of really fun to watch how they're really evolving through the course of this MLP Austin.
A little long from Buckner. These two, Brooke Buckner and Chao Yi Wang, play together quite a bit on the PPA tour as well, so they certainly have some comfortability and familiarity.
It's a really good reset. And it's interesting, you know, the first couple points you can see how teams are starting to kind of check how the weather is, what's going on with the wind, and still trying to make.
Nice slide from Zoe to get that ball down with her forehand on the outside of Sarah Ansbury's right foot. Nice ATP from Zoe.
It's the first ATP of the game. And one of the things that I really like about Sarah today that I didn't see yesterday is right now she's more aggressive, which is really important as, you know, you're trying to show them that you're right there on the spot, on the right ball, on the right time. That's a really good point, moving the player around. I think that, you know, one of the things that Florida really wants to start doing is to make sure they can open the court enough to look for some opportunities, especially after that in the middle.
Second serve. All right. Fans, cheer on Vanessa. She's going to take her shot. 1-2-2.
Really good deep serve.
Yeah, really good serve.
They really need to capitalize the win, trying to get to that change on top of the scoreboard. That will definitely help them.
One more quick round. See if we can get something. Come on, Delilah. Now it's whoever gets it. No rush. Come on. 0-2-1. Nice try. Nice try. Come on, Vanessa. Fans, cheer on our contestants. Oh, so close. Nick. Nick, you are up. Oh, Maverick.
It's a really good speed up after opening the court. And you can see now that's kind of strategy start to develop, right? That Martina is trying to pull away Zoe and then able to then kind of speed up to Brooke. That was really nice. Well displayed.
It's a good look from Zoe.
It's getting windy, you know.
Yeah,
whatever
the wind
you
is picking
feel
up
that
for
is
sure.
there is kind of moving. So I think it definitely gotta get faster on the feet just to be able to adapt that wind into your decision making. One of the things that is important to share with the people that are hearing us is unforced servers are going to happen more than the usual day just because of the wind. So you have to be patient and understand that that's just going to be a little bit of part of the game for today, especially as you're trying to go for shots. This has been the signature strategy from this match the entire weekend, working with the lob, especially with the wind. That's a really good way to kind of change things up, especially when they're dinking. It's been working for them since the beginning of this MLP.
Nice hands and counter from Buckner. So the Night Owls are on the board.
This is a ball that usually will be in on a regular day, but with this wind, definitely that point of contact and that follow-through has to be a little more staying with the shot. Florida is taking the lead now, 3-2.
3-2-1. Right out. Second serve.
Go, Brooke.
A really good fight. Especially I thought that after that third ball, Florida was going to take the point, but it seems that Brooke was able to come from a defense position and be able to counter-attack, getting them the point.
3-2-2. 0-1-1. Side out.
Yeah, that serve was long. All right, we've got a challenge
Stay with your out call.
of the out call.
Referee timeout. We're challenge to the out. 3-1. 3-1-1. Second serve.
You know, when you get into that transition and you're really trying to control that ball out of the air, it's so hard with the wind because you don't know when the wheel is going to blow out.
Point. Point.
All right, so we got a point for Las Vegas, 3-3.
3-2. Point. Five, 1-1. Side out.
Nice hands from Frantova.
We're starting to see a little more dinking.
Yeah.
I think that that's going to be extremely important because if you're not able to stay put, you might be able to put up a couple balls out there and they're not coming back.
Second serve.
Come on.
3-3-2. 5-1. Side out.
And you can see almost identical the same unforced error. And what Martina has to be able to try to work on now is to trying to make the same movement, but maybe at a 60% and trying to be able to understand that the wind is going to compensate her movement that actually will allow her to be able to feel with more control when she's hitting those shots.
Side out. Second serve. Five, 3-3-2. Point. Side out.
Oh, unlucky.
I feel that we've been playing a lot of points that we're still 3-3, right? Which is interesting knowing that usually most of the games are being pretty fast. There's still
Yeah, I think both teams having a bit of a hard time just stringing together a couple points.
I mean, we hear and we can feel the wind house spiking almost every time that we're talking. So imagine how hard it might be for them to control the ball.
Yeah, it's pretty gusty, but That ball from Frantova, honestly, didn't even seem like she hit it that hard, but it soared pretty far out. So we'll see what Vegas can do here.
It's a really good kind of a mix of transition and then kind of poking fast enough to get a pop-up, which should lead now to being 4-3 up. Right, this is the first kind of small lead we got so far.
Yep.
5-3-1.
That's wide. So 6-3. Few quick points on the side of the Night Owl.
From Florida perspective, trying to be able to hit it a little harder just to try and avoid those balls to be short, because they're going to come after that. So, and from Las Vegas to continue to understand that a 60% will definitely do your wonders when it comes to hitting your strokes and not be able to really go for too much unless it's necessary and it's over the top of the net.
Second serve.
Nice hands battle to kick things off after the end change.
6-3-2.
And it's coming faster now, right? So definitely from Florida, trying to be able to get there sooner to the kitchen, a big speed step, paddle in front, trying to be able to be ready for that point of contact in front will definitely help them.
Side out.
I always wonder why we never have on just playing some ball boys. You know, it'll be interesting. Or do you think that should never happen in pickleball, so players can have the time to pick up their ball? What do you think about that? I always wonder.
I feel like it would be fun. I think the kids love it. So if anything, they'd probably enjoy it. But that lob stays in. Just a little overcooked by Zoe.
And like I said before, when we start on this game, Martina understands the win, and that's such an important part as you're coming in and you get that floater, and that ball is just all over the place. Definitely a great change-up.
Second serve.
Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Never stand still,
4-7-2.
brand new wings to the auto. Foot to the ground, full throttle. Energy for the night like lotto. Damn, y'all talk lots, never get quiet. Like a Seinfeld plot. All for the songs, all of the wrongs. Like a Michael guy.
Nice flick from Zoe there. So Vegas gets the ball back 7-4.
7-4-1.
One thing that I really noticed that it can be beneficial for a day like this is instead of just returning by hitting the ball, maybe an underspin, because that ball is not really going to lift that much, which will be harder coming from against the wind, because not only is going to slope but stay low. And if you're not able to get the paddle in front of you, it's going to be really hard to get a good dink or drop. I like what Sarah's trying to do. She's trying to be able to slow the ball down, trying to be able to get that pop-up because of the wind and then go straight to the player in front of. I think that's a really good strategy that is getting points right now.
Some good energy on the side of the Night Owls after that point.
Great movement.
Yeah, really nice move from Zoe.
5-7-2.
And the first one actually worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't go back to the lob too many times.
Right. I feel the difference in this one was Sarah was hitting behind her. So that not only requires more follow through, but the use of the wrist. And sometimes that's really hard to create the same amount of, flying time. But, there's still a strategy. I like it. I think it works. Just got to use it at the right time.
1-9-1. Second serve.
Second serve.
Sarah kind of got away with something there, I think. So he was sitting on that, but just put it in the net.
And it's just hard. It's really hard to see the ball coming up to you. And then when you're preparing, you see the ball shifting. And if you're not able to be mindful of the footwork, because the paddle cannot get any farther, so you have to make it more physical. And, I think that's a struggle for everybody that I'm seeing. And I think that maybe being a little more mindful of that when you make the choice based on the score, that can definitely help them along the way.
9-1.
Second serve.
Good double hit on that one.
5-7-2.
Smash looking to get off 5.
10-1.
Side out.
Nice counter from Brooke. The ball thought about going over on that one.
Point game match. 11-2. Dallas.
7-5-1.
Wow, great dink from Zoe.
It's a great defense.
Great ATP and really good ATP defense.
8-5-1.
Point had a little bit of everything.
You can see that they're starting to work their reps, right? Not only in the middle, but away. They're going right leg, left leg, and that's exactly what the timeout is in the right time. They needed it. They're not able to feel empowered with the points they're trying to play, and
Yeah, it's a good call. The timeout there. What do you think? What do you think Smash needs to be doing here?
I think that the lob works because historically, since I've been watching in this MLP Florida Smash, they've been winning a lot of points like that. I will say, stay long.
Second serve.
So far, the timeout is working.
5-2.
Last time against Texas Rangers, by the way, this is Matty Pickle, your number one fan. You guys didn't quite have the home court advantage, but what are you expecting tonight? There are a lot of Dallas people here. Will there be more counting for the 5, or will we be hearing countdown?
Frantova doing a really nice job moving those dinks around.
We talked about it just now, right? The waiting part, and I think that's exactly what Florida has to invest right now on the waiting game, just for a tiny bit.
What's the mindset there tonight?
Just short.
You have a big target on your back. You're the defending champs from last year, and yet that's in the past now.
5-9-2.
You know the New Jersey Fives are going to be gunning for you guys tonight. How do you approach it?
Absolutely, they'll be gunning for us. They want every piece of us that they can get, and we are.
Side out.
It's a good hold from the Night Owls.
Also going to like very soon.
9-5-1.
Yeah, see how we can go.
Well, worked out in the final last year, guys. Congratulations.
I will say that if I was serving with the win, I will take a step back and try to be able to buy myself some flying time in case I don't feel that I have the confidence to decelerate the shot. As you can see right now, the motions are kicking a little bit in. You're going for the same shot, but the wind is actually taking a little bit more of a impulse and making the ball harder to control.
Remainder of our coverage over on Pickleball TV. Up next is the home team, the Texas Rangers. We'll be back to cover it. Thanks so much for watching with us on Tennis Channel.
592.
It's a good look from Zoe, but she just pulls it wide. So smash off 5. They've been on 5 for a handful of side outs. Let's see if we can create a little bit of momentum here. Also stacking with Ansboury on the left.
And we getting 2 points in a row. As I was mentioning before, you have the wind against you. You can swing freely, and every time you drop it, if it's good, it's going to be
A little bit of all of that.
Well, I was born in
Here.
South America. The heat doesn't bother me. The mosquitoes does. I didn't see a mosquito yet, so I'm all about Austin so far.
All right, 7-9-2. Big hold.
And you can see that if you make a good contact, he's coming really fast. So,
Yeah, especially off of Buckner's paddle.
oh yeah,
She has so much power.
971.
Oh, that.
no, I think right now that if I was playing, if I was the one started returning, I would definitely want to put a couple more pressure in Zoe on this point and see how.
What a rip.
Right, and you know, like I said, I always try to keep the data when it comes to playing pickleball, and you know, you want to be aware of what's happening in front of you at all times. That's a great ball from Zora. But you can think right now, the last 3 points, the last 3 returns from Florida has been going to Brooke. Now it's a side out, but that's the thing that I'm trying to share, right? So if you feel that one of the players are hot, maybe trying to shift that to the other player to buy some time. I'm jinxing people now. I'm just gonna stop talking because every time you're talking something good about a player, they make a depend on 4-0. So my
It's okay,
bad,
the
bro.
commentator curse is real.
I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, I think Martina was in a better position there.
All right, 8-10-2. All right, key hold from Vegas. They'll have 2 more attempts at game point.
I will go for the serve. I will definitely be a little more aggressive on this one.
Oh, great point. Rally of the match, honestly. Credit to Vegas for pulling that out. 11.
All capabilities. Right now we got Florida serving against the wind, 0-0. And right out of the bat, Florida is showing how they want to play pickleball today and is using the elements. You know, Travis taking a lob just to see how they can handle that ball moving in the air. That's great defense for Cason. I know Pablo likes to take that short one down the line. He was just ready for that shot for sure. That's a really good offensive thing two-handed by Pablo, pushing back Cason. They take the first point. They're leading 1-0. That's a really good forehand from Delgado. The strategy still from Florida is wait for the right time to pull them back with the lob and trying to get them from the offense position to defense. I really like that. That's really good, really good. Pickleball by James. He's really taking over, moving the ball around and using his size to be able to show respect. So definitely love it. 3-0, 9 out. That's a good drive by Pablo going down the line. It's a 4-0 really quick, and Florida has to get into it as this format is only to 11 points.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This next match is going to pit the Texas Ranchers versus the Miami Pickleball Club. Please make some noise.
All right, here we go. Side out, still down 4 points Florida, but up to serve. Yeah, that's gonna be a hard ball to take on the right, especially with this win and being against it. And that's just a little bit what's happening for the people that are tuning in. The conditions are a little bit extreme. You know, definitely don't have this high speed winds usually when we play in pickleball, and today's is pretty aggressive. But that's part of the gig, right? You have to be able to play with everything you got around you and trying to make the best out of it. That's a really good readout by James, and it's a 5-0 lead. Really quick. They're using the wind, they're using the strategy, they're taking their time. Not a lot of unforced errors, and that's exactly what is going to help them in the course of this game. The ball is just moving, you know, whatever you feel that a normal day is going to be right by your side. Right now it's taking a little bit of a move, and this is a change over in a 6-0 lead coming from the 9 outs. They're taking the win as a part of the strategy, and they're capitalizing 6-0, and we are about to take a break. We are here in MLP, presented by DoorDash. Don't go anywhere. We need you here.
MLP Austin is brought to you by Stella Artois, a taste worth more. By Skechers, experience comfort that performs with Skechers Pickleball. By Vulcan, Vulcan V Pro Flight, for every court and every player. And by DoorDash. DoorDash, your door to more snacks, groceries, beverages, and all things pickleball.
And we're back in MLP Austin, presented by DoorDash. And we just got changeover. Players are going to play now against the wind and with the wind. Definitely starting to have to be adjusted. I want to see how the Florida is going to come back from this 0-6. And definitely feel a little more patient. And taking the time is going to definitely get him to get the groove of things. Especially when you're losing 7-0, you know, you got to go back a little to the bases and just wait a little longer. All right, Florida got back in serve. 0-7. And I like the strategy. I like the fact that, you know, Cason is taking drives and really trying to be able to go for the shots. Unfortunately, the wind is a factor, and maybe a 60% shot can definitely do the same damage than just going a full swing. As you can see right now, that's a 4-0 on the serve. Back to 9 outs.
serve.
That's a good fight from both teams. Smash taking over that point. And right now, 7-0-2.
7-0-2.
0-0-2.
Side out.
And that's adjustment we're talking about, right? James was making all the drops from the wind side, and now he's able to miss a couple, but it's just adaptation. I think he will get that in no time. But that's just part of the flexibility of these players to know when they have to take the shot. Now.
Second serve.
That's a great speed up from the ground down the line. Be able to set up the second ball from Pablo to dictate a lefty and a righty. Always having two phones in the middle is a great combination, and they're really showing that right now. They are on fire right now. I mean, the way they're playing, they're so connected, and it's really interesting to watch. And Florida got to start getting some points to start providing a little pressure to Las Vegas. They already won the first point, and you know it will be important for them to start scoring some points on the board.
Second serve. 7-0-2.
That's a point right there. That's a point right there. Definitely, I can see the Florida starting to get a little more grooving here, moving their feet, trying to be able to slowly popping themselves up, and they need that. They really need that.
0-7-1.
Side out. All right, and Florida get their first point on the board. Still down 7-1, but I like how they're starting to get a little more pumped up, looking for options, keeping that drive low, and waiting for them to be able to have the opportunity to come to that kitchen, that 50-50.
Second serve.
Little bit of miscommunication in the middle there, which they were able to get on defense on that point.
1-7-2.
7-1-2. That's a really good defense by Travis. I love the physicality of Pablo trying to take the Ernie, the forehand side, but Travis was right there ready to defend that. Another point for Florida.
Side out.
I like that. I like that. A little bit of aggressiveness coming from that drive from Cason. Now things are switching back to Niles. They're going to be serving. You know, they still have the win against themselves. I think that right now is a perfect time to
7-2-1.
kind of swing a little more freely.
1-3-1.
That's a really good pickleball. You know, Pablo got pulled out and he was able to do an ATP, not a hard ATP, kind of soft, and then Cason kind of pop it up for
8-2-1.
James to be able to finalize that. It's another point for Niles. Wow, that's just great pickleball we're seeing right now. Niles are really on fire. Everything is happening for them with the win against the win, and that's definitely something that you just got to applaud. And Florida has just got to continue to work on themselves. This is not over.
9-2-1.
You know, everything can change. Just got to stay positive. Great speed up from Pablo. He saw the opportunity. And when you are winning 9-2, you can definitely have a little more layaway to take shots. And another score, you will be more. And that's game. 11-2. Amazing display of pick to win this game.
Side out.
That's a good eye from Zoe. Be able to read that ball instead of having to hit it, just let it bounce and taking the serve. That's a great. I like the return. Underspin, especially with wind, makes the ball to move a little more than the point of contact, which makes it harder to really control it. And then Travis Tech in the middle there. It's unfortunate, you know, the wind is always taking a little bit of a toll on some of the strokes that these amazing players don't ever miss. That's a really good readout by Sarah. This is an amazing point from the perspective of ATP, defense of the ATP by Pablo, and then going back dinking, and then Sarah be able to read. So it was pushing back on that dink, and you have time to see her making that move. They're back on serve. They're still losing 1-0.
0-1-1.
Sarah trying to go after that down the line shot, go a little bit faster. Unfortunately, when you're hitting in that direction, you know, and if the ball is too hard, there's not enough angle for the ball to bounce. So that's out. Pablo went again for the ATP. Unfortunately, this time the ball wasn't in the same position the last one he hit. Point 4.
1-1-2.
That's a really good changeup. You know, I think Zoe was expecting a big drive, and Sarah was able to decelerate that shot, making it to be a little more physical and forcing the error on Zoe. 2-1 right now for Florida. Good point. Now Vegas is back on serve, still trailing by 1. That's a really good play by Travis, trying to be able to go deep to both of the players. They're trying to get in transition, but he didn't allow them because it was hitting deep enough to keep it in position. Great shot. Nice. Nice by Sarah, trying to be able to tell Zoe that she can handle her own, and she's done a fantastic job. And they go back on serve, still winning by 1. That's a little bit of pop-up there by Sarah, and, you know, because of the elements right now, I think that both teams are doing a fantastic job to be able to play with all those. That's a great flick by Travis. After defending a ball that hit the net, he was able to get them physically to main position and be able to look for that opening in the middle between both of the 9-0 team members. It's 3-1 up, little bit of lead right now for Florida. The first time that Travis takes the down the line drive. In the past, he was just going to Zoe. He wanted to make a little bit of adjustments there, and Pablo was right there to counter, and he was able to take serve back to the Owls. I like what Salah's trying to do. Salah's trying to show her that if she doesn't hit that dink perfect, she's gonna earn it that. putting a little more pressure on Soy when she's doing that. All right, we got a point by Las Vegas. I think Pablo's increasing a little more power on the surface to be able to get an easy ball. It's a third. And that's just part of the game. Advice to everybody out there, if the ball hits the net, just concentrate on the overall score. Try not to make that be an item. And that is the signature in this MLP Austin by the Florida Smash. It's one of the few teams that actually is using the lob coming from a perspective of a ding to kind of shift things out. And it's been working extremely well since it started playing on Saturday. Oh, that's a great drive there from Travis. Exactly what he needs it, you know, to keep it low and, you know, hitting from the outside of the ball. He really feels comfortable with that. Right now, they're 5-2 up. Totally changed right now, and they're really playing a really high level of it. That's a really good disguise. Pablo puts the paddle up, trying to see he's gonna hit another shot, and he ends up doing a drop volley, taking away a little bit of the pace on the ball and getting the point. That was a tough shot to make, running around a forehand, trying to go in the middle. I mean, against the wind, that was barely out, but. Unfortunately, that ball for Travis went a little bit farther, and Soy was able to take that ATP, which Sarah was able to defend it. But, you know, having a lefty there to be able to have a forehand is definitely an opportunity for continuing to be aggressive, and that's what they just did. All right, change over. Florida is still up 5-3, 1 point away of switching. That's gonna take that point. A really good defense by Travis. Drag everybody. We are in MLP Austin, presented by DoorDash. We are changing sides and put it quickly, and players are back into play. That's a beautiful down the line backhand from Travis. The score right now is 6-3, 7-3. 7-3-2, Florida. That's an unforced error. You know, the wind taking a little bit of that ball away, and now it's 8-3. I like how Pablo is able to kind of hide that shot, and you know, when the ball gets so high, you don't see a lot of bounce, and definitely a good strategy to be implemented. Especially when the conditions are allowing you to do that. Right now it's 8-3. Vegas is on serve now. That's a really good defense by Soy, and Travis was really taking over the middle and being offensive, but she was able to hold her own for the next two balls and get the point out. It's 4. They're up to 4 now. A little bit too quickly there on the flick. Unfortunately, the wind when you not catch it right, the control is going to be one of the things that you're really going to feel
4-8-2.
having that win with you. That's nice. As you can see right now, Travis is basically in the middle, trying to be able to tell them that if you want to go through me, you're going to have to go to a place that is a really low percentage, and I really like that. Oh, he got him behind. I was waiting for that lob. I thought that Smash had a couple of opportunities to be able to bring that ball back, but right now this is on serve. Yeah, that's the beauty of having a lefty. You know, can definitely, especially Pablo has such a great movement. He can actually jump from one side of the court to another. They're back on serve. Oh, that's a really good opening by Travis. Be able to read that dink and decided, you know what, I'm going to pull him out. Especially knowing that that can be a factor if he's not done correctly. I've seen a lot of defense, and you know, from both sides, the ATPs right now, as much as people would like to do, they're coming back. So something that I really feel that is evolving on pickleball. The kind of momentum here from Niles and getting a couple points in. I feel that a little more offensive, and you got to put into consideration that every time they hit, the ball's going to come faster because the wind is on their side. And that's exactly what it looks like, right? You see that ball coming, and you know, Travis, as good as it is, it's really hard. So we'll see how they come up on these few points. Pablo going for too much. All right, so it's A7, Florida. Perfect time right now from them to really grind a couple points here, wait for the right time, and making sure they can continue to pull the ball away as much as they can to take some of the pace off from Night Out.
If you would like a little bit of energy, I need you up on your feet. I need you making some noise. Anytime Jordan's out here, you know you're getting some freebies.
That was a really good point. I thought that it was going to be all Florida, but the defense of Niles was able to prevent that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Not over. Not over. Oh, what a point. And I'm continue to say, if you're playing with the wind on a windy day, use it. Don't try to play against it. And Florida's really playing with it, and that ball from Travis, such an important time of the game because nobody was expecting it, and it really shifted, you know, the momentum right now. The 9-7, 2 points away of winning this first mix. I'm looking forward to see how they're gonna do that.
Once again, fans, this is the official sponsor of Major League Pickleball. If you guys want to...
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Great job from Florida. You can see how the movement of Travis and Sarah to try to be able to pick that player from the Niles and keep it there so they can force that ball back to them. Prestige, 10-7. right side out. Still not over. Even though 9 Owls are 3 points down, they still have the win. That can definitely be a factor. That's a really good setup from Travis. He's really taking over, trying to be able to help Asaro as much as he can. And
7-10-2. 1-6-2.
Pablo trying to take an extra ball there. Unfortunately, was not able to be successful on that.
10-7-1.
And it's back to Florida, 10-7. That's fine. That's fine. You know, this is really interesting from the perspective of watching it as an spectator, as a fan of pickleball, and that, you know, it's getting to a point that every single detail is going to definitely bring an outcome. So you have to be really mindful and disciplined of your choices, because it can definitely change the energy of the game for sure. That's a really good speed out by Pablo, setting it up himself for an extra ball. They're back on the board, 2 points away to tie this game. They're still leading 2-0. Las Vegas now.
Second serve. 7-10-2.
That's a really good display of athleticism by Travis, from defense to offense, to stretching himself, trying to be able to continue to take that opportunity as they lead now 10-7. They're talking to each other. I think they're going to come up with a good strategy.
10-7-1.
Let's see what they're going to do.
Timeout, Texas. 5-6-1.
Wow, Sarah defends that shot coming from out of the court and keeps them alive. And Florida takes the third game, paddle in the air, frustrations. And, you know, this is part of the game of pickleball. Exciting. And now, and, you know, definitely with the win can definitely come faster and stronger. So let's see. Let's get ready. Let's do it. That's a good D there from James, right in the middle after a good drive for Martina. Nice speed up. Back after Cason wanted to try to put himself in a position for the earning. Came back and James took the initiative to speed up back to him. That's a really good speed up down the line from Brooks, setting it up for the back and two-handed winner. It's 2-0 from the Niles, taking an early lead.
9-8-1.
That's a really good deep shot from Martina.
2-0-2. Point.
Fortunately, the ball went out and 3-0 right now. Niles, Tino to add points on the board. I like how James is really moving the ball around, waiting for that pop-up, and he's starting to go fast, using some of the flick from both sides just to make them feel that they're out of time. Really good display of shot selection from James. You know, it's always hard to come from sitting down to come jump into the court in 3 minutes. You have to be mindset ready, so it's important for Florida to start getting a little more pumped up, more energy, so they can start getting some points on the board.
All right, fans, our friends at Power Plus. No, you guys are getting hot out there. We understand you're sitting in the sun. It's hot. You guys are getting dehydrated.
MLP presented by DoorDash. Austin, Texas is hot, and we are here seeing the mixed doubles taking place. And we have a special guest here, one of the top players from the PPA, and Marshall Brown, you here. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing great. Just to clarify, one of the low to middle pros, not the top, but thank you very much.
I'm trying to put you out there because I like you so much, and we just got here and we can see how Las Vegas is taking over this mixed doubles.
Yeah, James is just playing extremely solid this matchup in men's doubles and in mixed. Playing very loose, firing away, winning lots of hand battles.
And Marshall, I was talking to the people that are watching this game. The conditions are taking really a toll on the timing of the players. I know that I just saw you winning a Dream Breaker. Congrats on that. Tell me a little bit about, as a player, what do you think you'll be having to adjust the last few days playing here in MLP, Austin?
Yeah, the wind is really tough. I'm sure it doesn't show up on camera quite well, but it's pretty strong. If you're looking at the screen right now, it's from the top part of the screen towards the bottom is the direction of the wind. So playing on the side of the Florida Smash right now is tough, because if you hit the ball just a little bit too hard, it's flying.
And I'll tell you that, I'll tell you something, Marshall. One of the things that I've been saying since I've been in MLP Austin is how the Florida Smash has been using the resource of the lob as a thing to really change things up, and they're so successful since they've been playing.
Yeah, the lob's a great shot, maybe the most underutilized.
3-7-2.
Wow, what a shot from Brooke going behind Cason there.
Yeah, I think that when he's coming in transition, he didn't expect that she was going to take a speed out from the ground, especially as she's pulling away from her forehand to be able to give herself some space as a backup. But definitely something that she needed it, and she took it.
Second serve. 7-3-2.
Yeah, so James Delgado and Brooke Buckner practice together pretty much every single day from what I've heard. They are both from Charlotte, North Carolina. They play with Eric Roddy and Kate Fahey, a great foursome there.
In your opinion, Marshall, as I know that we spoke a lot before you in Alabama, I'm in Richmond. It's kind of definitely hard to find those high-level players. What can you tell the people that are hearing this? What is the other ways to really continue to develop your game, even though you don't have that level of rec play all the time?
Yeah, that's a great question. Personally, I'm really liking hitting against just a wall and just working on hands. And I've also done a lot of just playing with 4-5 or 5-0 guys, and they'll do half court, and I'll do the entire court, or just reps with basketballs. So there's lots of ways to get creative with it, but it is a disadvantage to not have 3 other solid players in our areas.
That's going to be a point there, and it's super interesting because I see a lot of the pro players are going to specific places in the United States just to be able to have that rec and that level of play on a daily basis. Not everybody is fortunate to do that, but I think that, as you say, you're being creative can definitely give you an opportunity. I can see a little bit of changing of the momentum here from Florida. They're getting a couple points in.
Wow, great shot from James there. Yeah, I'm actually extremely high on both Cason Campbell and James Delgado. I've seen them play and develop their games over the past year and a half or so, and both of them have just improved drastically.
It's a really good feedback because I think everybody here that is really trying to make it as a pro player definitely is putting the hours in and the investment. Of course, this sport is not cheap, and be able to get the type of feedback from our fellow professional players is a great thing. So I appreciate you for that, and that's a really good speed up coming from Brooke going down the line. She showed the opening and she took it. Nice, 9-4 from Las Vegas.
Second serve.
I think sometimes, even if you make a mistake, Marshall, I think it's a good mistake because you really want to continue to work on your shots, right? You don't want to just stick to one way only of playing because things can shift so quickly.
For sure, variety, honestly, is maybe one of the most underrated. Finding weaknesses and improving them, and then finding your strengths and improving them as well. That way you have, solid shots that you can always rely on, and getting rid of your weaknesses and turning them into, neutral parts of your game or even strengths is massive. So it's just all about improving every day, just trying to get 1% better every single day. That's going to be a good path to success in pickleball.
I love it. It's exactly what we're here to provide that feedback to our audience. You're going to be back here 9-4. Florida serving 9-5 actually.
I also think just adding shots to your toolbox is something that some people just never consider. Like, for example, Martina just hit a backhand flick. I promise you, when she started playing pickleball, she did not have that shot. She decided one day to learn that shot, and now it's one of her strengths. So everybody needs to be working on adding shots to their toolbox.
That's a really good feedback, and I'll tell you a little story about it right now. Florida is still on serve. 9-6-2. That's a little bit of reserve there, especially as we're getting closer to the end of this game. You can see that the emotions are taking #1 priority, and the strokes actually are something that has to be a little more mindful of decision making and be disciplined as well, because now everything really counts.
Good lead by Martina there.
So the story is that, I'm a one-handed back, and I was playing against a couple players that I have a two-handed, and they were always going on the speed up down the line back to me, and I couldn't even see it. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to learn how to do a two-handed back, and in the air, just like we just saw now from Cason.
Great example.
Thank you, Cason, for helping me out on that feedback, the visual. But you're absolutely right. you have to be flexible and you have to be willing to make adjustments, especially if you were either a great tennis player or coming from another sport. You always have to be continue to grow your game.
Yep. What a combination from Cason. His two-handed backhand is one of the best on tour.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that in Atlanta. We were playing against each other in singles. I mean, I was just watching the ball pass me by.
I've been there and done that too.
Oh, that was a good decision from James to be the first one speeding up. And you know, James is a big guy. He has a lot of reach and definitely can allow him to take shots that other people can.
Oh, great setup by Cason there. It's hard downwind when you're hitting the ball hard. It's so easy for that ball to fly long.
So you think it makes more sense, Marshall, to actually aim the player, because at that point the player will be your best option, knowing that there is no other option. You know, that doesn't consider to be mean about it, right? That's just part of the game. For people, sometimes they don't want to do that because they think, oh, I'm being mean. It's just part of the game, right?
For sure.
Great defense. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
Great angle by Cason there. He's pretty much got it all on the backhand side. He's got a hard two-handed backhand. He's got the angled one-hand backhand. Oh, James trying to hit it. I think he might have missed it on accident.
Right, right. Now, you are playing big time on the tour. All these players that are coming into the spectrum, they all have all the shots. What is the difference, in your opinion?
Consistency. That's the big one for sure.
Yeah, and that's going to be the game. And Las Vegas now is able to take the overall game, winning the last mixed doubles